Sometimes the quiet ones carry the loudest storms. When Sarah Miller, a calm, soft-spoken woman from a small town, was laughed out of an elite Air Force pilot camp for not belonging, she didn't fight back with words. She came back with wings. And that's when the entire base learned what regret truly sounds like. Sarah grew up in a modest house just outside Kansas City. Her dad was a retired mechanic who spent his evenings looking up at the night sky. He'd say, "Sarah, those stars aren't far away if you've got the guts to chase them." For Sarah, that dream was flying. From the moment she saw her first fighter jet roar across an airshow, her heart was locked on one goal: to become a pilot. But when she told people about her dream, she didn't get applause. She got chuckles. "A pilot? You? Come on, Sarah. You're too quiet for that kind of job." Those words stung. But they also fueled something inside her. Fire wrapped in patience. When the opportunity came to join a pre-military pilot camp, she knew it was her shot. She trained harder than anyone. Early morning runs, late-night flight simulations, every manual memorized cover to cover. She wasn't the loudest or the strongest, but she was relentless. The camp was hosted at an Air Force training base known for turning boys into warriors. But when Sarah arrived, alone, with a small duffel bag and a big dream, the laughter started before introductions even ended. The commanding officer, Captain Briggs, eyed her up and down and sneered, "Ma'am, are you lost? This isn't flight attendant training." The recruits laughed. Sarah didn't. She just nodded and said, "Sir, I'm exactly where I need to be." Day one was brutal. The drills were designed to break spirits: obstacle courses, mental tests, and group challenges that rewarded dominance, not discipline. Sarah wasn't fast. She wasn't loud. But she was precise. Every maneuver she did was by the book. Every instruction flawless. But that wasn't enough for Captain Briggs. He'd find every excuse to humiliate her. During formation, "Cadet Miller, why are you walking like you're carrying a purse instead of a parachute?" Laughter. During simulator drills, "Still can't handle the G-force, sweetheart?" More laughter. At night, when others slept, Sarah practiced. She studied wind patterns, navigation charts, and emergency responses until dawn. And when her fellow cadets saw her studying, they mocked her again. "She's wasting her time," one said. "She'll never make it to a cockpit." The turning point came during a mock takeoff test. Sarah executed a flawless sequence. But Briggs called her out, claiming she used unauthorized shortcuts. He tore her badge off her uniform in front of everyone. "You're done here. Pack up. We don't train dreamers who can't take orders." Sarah stood silent as everyone watched. For a moment, she looked at the aircraft behind him, the very machine she'd dreamt of flying. Then she said, calm and steady, "You're right, sir. You don't train dreamers. Because dreamers train themselves." And with that, she walked out, leaving behind the humiliation, but taking with her a quiet promise. This isn't the end. Sarah returned home broken, but not defeated. She spent months saving every dollar she could, working double shifts at a small regional airport as a maintenance assistant. She cleaned hangars, refueled planes, and listened. Every time a pilot walked by, she absorbed knowledge like oxygen. One evening, an older pilot named Colonel Reeves noticed her carefully checking the mechanics of an aircraft long after her shift ended. "You know your way around a bird," he said. She smiled. "I know what they mean to people." Reeves asked about her story, and she told him everything, from the mockery to the dismissal. He listened silently, then said something that changed everything. "Kid, sometimes the Air Force doesn't recognize real steel until it's forged outside their fire." Turns out, Colonel Reeves was a retired F-22 instructor. He offered to mentor her privately, no rank, no yelling, just skill. Under his guidance, Sarah learned advanced flight physics, tactical maneuvers, and crisis response. She mastered every control, every angle, every instinct a pilot could have. Reeves saw something in her others missed: calm precision under pressure. Months turned into years. And one day, during a test flight simulation, Reeves leaned back and said, "You're ready." Sarah smiled, gripping the controls of the simulator. "Ready for what?" to remind them what they threw away. It was Air Command Week at the same base where she had been kicked out. The event showcased elite pilots and advanced aircraft to the public, especially the F-22 Raptor unit. Sarah and Reeves arrived quietly as civilian contractors, authorized visitors. No one recognized her at first. Captain Briggs, now leading the demonstration, strutted proudly across the runway, barking orders. When Sarah walked past him in her plain flight suit, he gave her a puzzled look. "Wait, you look familiar." She smiled. "You told me to leave once. I figured I'd come back to say thank you." He frowned. "You shouldn't be here." Before he could push further, Reeves approached the operations director and handed him papers. Within minutes, word spread. Sarah Miller had been approved for a live demo test flight under FAA supervision, authorized by the same military contractor Reeves worked with. The same jets she'd once been forbidden to touch now stood before her, one of them an F-22 Raptor. As she climbed into the cockpit, the crowd murmured. Briggs scoffed. "This is a joke. She'll crash before takeoff." But when the engines roared, the entire airfield fell silent. Sarah's takeoff was flawless, smooth, controlled, elegant. Then, mid-air, she pulled a maneuver that left every jaw on the ground. A full vertical climb followed by a zero-stall hover. Even the top pilots hadn't attempted that in a public demo. Through the radio, Reeves' voice crackled. "Show them what quiet looks like, kid." Sarah smirked. "Copy that." She rolled the F-22 upside down, cut the thrust halfway, then looped back perfectly, landing with such precision that even the military tech stood frozen. The crowd erupted in applause. Briggs? He just stared, speechless. After the flight, reporters swarmed her. "Who trained you? Where did you learn those maneuvers?" Sarah simply smiled and said, "From the same people who told me I couldn't." Within days, the video of her performance went viral. The Air Force's PR department tried to contact her for a recruitment opportunity, but she declined. Instead, she joined Reeves in founding a small flight academy for women called Skyline Wings, a place where no one would be judged by gender or background. Months later, Captain Briggs visited the academy unannounced. He found Sarah standing beside a group of new cadets. He cleared his throat. "I came to apologize. I was wrong about you." Sarah looked at him and said, "You weren't wrong, Captain. You just couldn't see past what you thought I was." He nodded, defeated but respectful. As he turned to leave, Sarah added, "Oh, and Captain?" He turned back. "Next time you hear an F-22 flying overhead, remember, it might be me. Greatness doesn't always shout. Sometimes it whispers." Sarah didn't win because she was angry. She won because she believed quietly when no one else did. Every rejection, every laugh, every insult only built her wings stronger. And when the world finally looked up, they saw her soaring higher than anyone had ever imagined. Because when a simple woman refuses to quit, even gravity learns to respect her.